Thank you very much, everyone. Merci beaucoup. We've just spent a remarkable morning meeting with some true Canadian heroes here at Lloyd Inman Memorial Park. And I want to begin with a very simple message to each of them and to every veteran across Canada. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for everything you have given in the service of our country. No matter where you live, all of us owe it to our veterans to say thank you. To our heroes, no matter where you served, whether you are among the generations who served in World War II or the Korean War, whether you are one of the heroes of Afghanistan or in conflict zones around the world, you deserve our thanks. Not just on Remembrance Day, but every day. And the reality is, just saying thank you is not nearly enough. If the last 4 years of the Trudeau Liberals has taught us anything, it's that talk is cheap, that Justin Trudeau is not as advertised, and that no matter what he actually promises, the check is never actually in the mail. In 2015, he stood with veterans and used our men and women in uniform as props. He promised that no veteran would ever have to fight for the support and compensation they have earned, that no veteran would have to fight in court. Today, that promise lies in tatters, one of the many promises Trudeau tossed out the window once he got into power. En 2015, Justin Trudeau a promis qu'aucun ancien combattant ne devrait se battre avec son gouvernement pour le soutien qu'il mérite. Aujourd'hui, cette promesse ne tient plus. L'une des nombreuses promesses que Justin Trudeau a balayées de la main une fois au pouvoir. Justin Trudeau will do or say anything to get elected. He will tweet away $50 million worth of taxpayers' money to an American celebrity for publicity. He will sign a check for $10 million to a convicted terrorist. But he won't keep his promises to our military heroes. If he's given 4 more years, Justin Trudeau will continue to break those promises. By the end of 2018, the number of veterans left stranded on government waitlist had ballooned to 40,000, 11,000 more than the year before. What's more, Justin Trudeau has left more than 3,000 disabled veterans struggling for more than a year without any pension or other benefits. And Trudeau even had the gall to lecture our veterans, saying that they were, quote, asking for more than we are able to give. That's unbelievable, and it's insulting. Do you think he would ever say that such a thing to lobbyists from SNC-Lavalin or Loblaws, that they were asking for more than he was able to give? Of course not. In fact, he let those same lobbyists write part of his budget. The fact is, under Trudeau, corporate executives and lobbyists get the red carpet treatment, while our veterans get left out in the cold. What's more, his own Minister of Veterans Affairs, Seamus O'Regan, went so far as to get himself involved in a defamation suit with a prominent advocate and champion of Canada's military heroes. To every veteran who has struggled and who continues to struggle, without the support and benefits you have earned through your service, my message is this: you have been betrayed, you deserve better. And after October 21st, we're going to do more to help you get ahead. Mon message Mon message à nos anciens combattants est clair. Vous avez été trahis et vous méritez mieux. Et après le 21 octobre, nous allons en faire plus pour vous et améliorer votre quotidien. Instead of forcing veterans to work harder for government benefits, it's time that the government worked harder for our veterans' benefit. It's time for a government that works harder to help you get ahead. So here's what we're going to do. First, a Conservative government will enshrine in legislation a military covenant between the Government of Canada and all of Canada's veterans. We will make it the law that every federal official and every federal institution treat our veterans with the utmost of respect and provide them services in a timely manner. In particular, we will mandate the clearing of the unacceptable backlog of veterans benefit applications within 24 months. No excuses, no exceptions. We're also going to fix Justin Trudeau's failure to create a reliable, dependable pension system for veterans. The Trudeau Liberals created a messy system that shortchanges some of our most severely disabled veterans by as much as $300,000. We will strengthen post-service transition supports to help retired or discharged Canadian Armed Forces members. You should not have to suffer in silence. We will strike an independent inquiry to provide Canadian Armed Forces members with answers to their exposure to mefloquine. And we will take action to make it easier for veterans to have service dogs in their communities. And finally, we'll restore support for vital commemoration projects such as the National Memorial for Canada's war in Afghanistan. Voici ce que nous allons faire. Premièrement, un gouvernement conservateur va enchasser dans la loi un pacte militaire entre le gouvernement du Canada et tous les anciens combattants du Canada. Chaque fonctionnaire fédéral et chaque institution fédérale devra traiter nos vétérans avec un respect absolu et leur offrir des services en temps opportun. Et nous allons exiger l'élimination de l'arrière inacceptable des demandes de prestations des vétérans en l'espace de 24 mois. Pas d'excuses, pas d'exception. Nous allons aussi corriger l'échec de Justin Trudeau à créer un régime de pension fiable pour les anciens combattants. Les libéraux de Trudeau ont créé un système bancaire qui prive certains de nos anciens combattants les plus gravement handicapés de moins de 300 000 $. Nous allons renforcer le soutien à la transition après le service pour aider les membres des Forces armées canadiennes retraités ou libérés. Vous n'avez pas à souffrir en silence. Nous allons mener une enquête indépendante pour donner aux membres des Forces armées canadiennes des réponses à leur exposition à la mefloquine. Nous allons agir pour qu'il soit plus facile pour les anciens combattants d'avoir des chiens d'assistance dans leur communauté. Nous allons rétablir le soutien aux projets de commémoration comme le Monument national pour la guerre du Canada en Afghanistan. These actions are simple, straightforward, and practical. They require new investment, but even more importantly, they required new priorities. Our military heroes are worth it. When we look out for our heroes, we are looking out for the people who dedicated their lives to looking out for us. My message to veterans is that it's time you had a government that stood up for you and a government that helps you get ahead. We'll put more money back in Canadians' pockets with a universal tax cut, which will apply to the pensions veterans receive as well. We will increase the age credit to $1,000, remove the GST from home heating, and get rid of the carbon tax that hurts seniors the most. Justin Trudeau has disrespected and ignored veterans for long enough. That comes to an end on October 21st. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Happy to take your questions.
Mr. Scheer, Mike Lecouture from Global National. I'm trying to understand how enshrining a covenant in legislation will work. I mean, what will happen to a worker if they don't respect the veteran? It seems like you're trying to legislate behavior here.
Well, what we're doing with this is changing the culture within the government, ensuring that everyone who's working in departments that have that relate to veteran services understands the special bond and the special obligation that the government has to those who wore the uniform for us and who put their lives on the line. That starts with this type of covenant, and that the practical changes that we're also making flows from that, and it's an important first step to ensure that the departments are there to serve the people who served our country.
It's a bit of a change for the Conservatives, wouldn't you say, when you consider, I mean, how do veterans trust the Conservatives when it was the Conservatives in 2014 that shut so many of the Veterans Affairs offices?
Mm-hmm. Well, what veterans saw was in the 2015 election that they were used as props, and that the promises that
I'm talking about the old Conservatives now,
made
Mr.
for
Scheer.
them,
I'm sorry, the Conservative government.
the promises that were made to them were not delivered. So this is my solemn engagement with them, learning from them over the past few years as leader of this party. I've been working closely with them to come up with these types of practical changes that will make their lives better, make it easier for them to get the services that they need. That is the Conservative Party's commitment to them in this election, and I will follow through with it after October 21st. Oui, alors les anciens combattants savent qu'elle a été utilisée comme des props pendant les dernières élections. Et ça, c'est mon engagement solennel, personnel avec eux. Et après le 21 octobre, on va livrer nos commitments, nos promesses.
Hi, good morning. Christy Kirkup with the Globe and Mail. Obviously, there has been a lot of discussion about the blackface controversy, not only in Canada, but around the world, as it has garnered international headlines. What do you think this controversy says about systemic discrimination in Canada?
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, this incident has reignited or brought to the forefront some of these types of conversations. Conservatives will always support measures that tackle discrimination. We'll always promote policies that promote inclusiveness and equality throughout our society, and we will continue to do that. I think what it shows ultimately is who Justin Trudeau really is, and someone who has one set of rules for everyone else, one set of rules for himself. Someone who won't hold himself to the standards he sets for other people. Now Canadians can make their ultimate determination about whether or not they trust Justin Trudeau, and they'll have that opportunity on October 21st.
How prevalent do you think this type of thing is, though? Is there a takeaway for the country at all?
Well, how prevalent it is. Obviously, there are examples that come up. We've had discussions in Parliament. There are discussions that happen at municipal and provincial levels, and all levels of government work together to address these types of things. We all know people who have experienced it personally, and we all can see reports that come out from everything from police agencies to advocacy groups. So it is an important issue that all levels of government continue to work on. How prevalent it is that Justin Trudeau says one thing and does another, that that is very prevalent, and that is becoming more and more evident as this campaign goes on.
En français, s'il vous plaît.
Oui. C'est clair qu'il y a des actes comme ça, et c'est toujours un enjeu pour les Canadiens, pour quelques aspects de notre société. Et c'est essentiel que tous les niveaux de gouvernement ciblent cet problème et continuent de travailler ensemble. C'est aussi clair que c'est très prévalent que Justin Trudeau dit une chose et faire quelque chose d'autre.
Louis Blouin de Radio-Canada. Monsieur Scheer, est-ce que vous avez l'intention de participer à des événements cette semaine pour souligner la semaine du climat? Je pense notamment à la marche là, qui va avoir lieu à Montréal.
Personnellement, non, je suis dans une autre région, mais je sais que quelqu'un de nos candidats et une de nos députés va être là.
D'autres événements?
Mais j'ai toujours appuyé les personnes et les groupes qui veulent plus d'action sur l'environnement. C'est la raison pour laquelle nous avons reçu beaucoup de soutien pour notre vrai plan pour l'environnement, et on va toujours signifier notre commitment de la vraie action sur le changement climatique.
Vous avez toujours pas chiffré. Oh, pardon.
Sorry, in English on the support for the environment.
Sure. I personally will be in another part of the country, but we will have candidates and members of parliament who will be participating in this event on Friday, and we'll always support groups and individuals who are raising awareness for environmental issues and especially climate change. And that's why we've received such positive feedback for our real plan for the environment.
Vous avez toujours pas détaillé certaines de vos promesses en matière de climat pour savoir quels impacts elles vont avoir sur la réduction des changements climatiques. Vous n'avez pas précisé non plus, par exemple, combien une entreprise va devoir investir si elle dépasse de 40 kilotonnes d'émissions. Est-ce que vous allez profiter de cette semaine du climat pour faire ce genre d'annonce-là, détailler ces choses-là?
Au contraire, nous avons détaillé beaucoup des aspects de notre plan, et pendant le cours de la campagne, on va avoir plus de dire sur quelques aspects de notre plan. Une chose que nous savons, c'est qu'avec le plan de Justin Trudeau, on tombe plus en plus en arrière. Le taxe sur le carbone ne fonctionne pas. Ce n'est pas mon opinion, c'est un fait. C'est basé sur les études indépendantes des experts comme l'officier de la budget parlementaire.
Good morning, Mr. Scheer. Joyce Napier, CTV. Thank you for taking our questions. I'm wondering why you find it that it's not important for you to be at any of those events in Montreal on climate.
Well, as I mentioned, we will have some of our candidates there and sitting members of parliament who will be participating in that, and we'll be showing our support for groups and individuals who are advocating for greater action on the environment. And that is why we're receiving such great positive feedback from our real plan for the environment that takes the climate change fight global, that helps Canadians invest in their own homes with the green home energy tax credit. That's why Canadians see that when it comes to real action on the environment, Justin Trudeau is not the answer. His plan is making Canada fall further and further behind.
And I want to go back to this law that you want to enshrine, a military covenant. Why do you think Canada needs a law to force people to treat veterans and departments with respect?
Well, this is something that veterans advocates and veterans themselves have been asking for, to ensure that there's a culture change within the department and that things can flow from that. Some of the measures that we're announcing here today are very practical, but they require that leadership from above, that leadership from the top down, to ensure that people working for the government work for the veterans themselves. And that's essential. There are so many examples of duplication. There's so many examples where departments don't work in sync together. For example, people who are discharged from D&D who have got a medical assessment on their injuries have to get one from Veterans Affairs as well. Those are the types of things that we can eliminate within the government, because people shouldn't have to wait longer. Veterans shouldn't have to wait longer because the departments can't get their acts together. So this is the type of leadership from above, a signal to veterans themselves that we're taking this seriously, and that we will ensure that this permeates all the way through all the departments.
Good morning, Mr. Scheer. JP Tasker, CBC News. I wanted to ask you about safe injection sites. Under this government, they've gone from 1 to 49 sites nationwide. I'm wondering what you would do on that file. Would you roll back those sites, or would you pursue more?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll start off by saying that the Conservative Party accepts the decision of the courts on these issues. We do believe that communities need to be engaged. This is something that the government has not done a very good job, has done a terrible job on. We receive a lot of feedback from people all over the country that they were not consulted, that the impacts on their communities were not taken into consideration. Our focus, we'll have more to say on addictions in general, but our focus is getting people off of dangerous drugs, not maintaining a lifetime of addiction. So that's the direction we're going to go in, and we'll have more to say about that during this campaign.
And can I ask you about cannabis as well? As you might have seen, some of the provinces have had trouble making money on selling pot, which seems problematic for a lot of people. What changes would you make, if any, to the Liberal regime, the Liberal cannabis law? Do you think it's fine as it is now?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've said in the past that we will not recriminalize, but we will work with the provinces to ensure that the unintended consequences of the Liberal legislation can be addressed. We want to focus on research, ensuring that Health Canada does its job in fully understanding the impacts of cannabis. This is a major change in our society, and like other types of products, has consequences, has health effects. So we want to make sure we fully understand that, and that we promote awareness campaigns to ensure that Canadians understand some of the risks that are associated with long-term cannabis use.
Good morning, Mr. Scheer.
Morning.
Evan Dar, CBC News. I wanted to ask you, when Jody Wilson-Raybould in her last couple of weeks as Attorney General made a directive asking the federal government to stop fighting back against lawsuits brought by Indigenous groups, would your veterans proposal have the same kind of a directive to not contest any lawsuit brought by a veteran?
I'm confident with the suite of changes, the package of changes that we're making today, that we will be able to address these types of challenges, that we'll be able to respond to the needs of veterans and advocates for veterans without having to go to the courts. Chatting with the veterans here this morning, one of the most galling examples of a government having misplaced priorities is the excuse that Justin Trudeau had for writing a $10 million check to Omar Khadr was that he didn't want to fight it in the courts. They would end up spending more money on lawyers, which was a completely bogus argument. But then he has no problem spending millions and millions of dollars taking our veterans to court. So our focus, our commitment is to resolve these types of issues in good faith with this type of new culture, this new attitude within the department, to ensure that veterans are made the priority in all our policies.
And I know your drugs program, your platform is yet to come out, but I wanted to just ask you to respond to the Green Party proposal, which is to decriminalize all drugs, including opioids, in response to the opioid epidemic.
I don't believe I don't believe that's the way to go down. I believe that focus should be on getting people off of drugs, harmful drugs, addictive drugs, ensuring that the programs and services are in place. I know that's something, I know decriminalization is something that the Liberals are pursuing and contemplating. I can assure you that our party is not. Oui, je pense que ça c'est une mauvaise idée. Ça c'est quelque chose que le Parti libéral considère aussi, mais je peux vous assurer que le Parti conservateur ne va pas faire ça.
Kelly Malone, the Canadian Press. I know that you touched on this before, but I'm not sure we got the answer. So how can veterans be sure that the relationship with the new Conservative government would be different than the relationship with the previous Conservative government?
Mm-hmm. Well, as leader of the Conservative Party, we have a new opportunity to make these types of commitments. This is my personal commitment to them as the leader of this party, as Prime Minister. I will take a personal interest in ensuring that the commitments we've made today are followed through on.
And it's the United Nations General Assembly this week, especially with the world seeing the photos of Trudeau. If you were Prime Minister, what would you be telling UN leaders about how Canada's role in the world would change under a Conservative government?
Well, I will represent Canada with dignity and professionalism abroad. I will ensure that Canada's interests are always protected and defended, that Canadians are protected and defended. We have a situation where 2 Canadians are being detained in China illegally, and Justin Trudeau has done virtually nothing about that. I will also, as Prime Minister, promote the types of policies and the type of culture of inclusiveness, tolerance, and equality, and ensure that people from around the world know that Canada is a bastion of freedom and equality for everyone.
Morning, Mr. Scheer. Stu Neatby from The Guardian. Recently, the Nova Scotia Court of Appeals upheld a decision that suggested the government of Nova Scotia will not be providing an unbiased environmental assessment of the Northern Pulp Pipeline. Do you believe that the federal government should step in and provide an assessment for the proposed pipeline?
I've made it very clear that we support the types of energy projects that create jobs and opportunity and help provinces and Canadians benefit from our natural resources. That's one of the pillars of our proposal to have an energy corridor that can have all these types of environmental assessments done upfront that can deal with all the challenges that come with these types of projects in this day and age with what we know about impacts on the environment, and that fulfills our obligations to First Nations. So I'd be happy to sit down and talk with the Premier of Nova Scotia about how we can support it on the federal level, getting these types of big projects built again, while at the same time making sure that we're fulfilling all our environmental obligations.
Morning, Mr. Scheer. Travis King from CBC Charlottetown. It's a big topic amongst Islanders that we actually have to pay to leave the island. Would a Conservative government do anything about bridge tolls on the Confederation Bridge?
When I'm on the island, I hear from people all over talking about the cost of living and affordability. And of course, that is a major issue. We are going to continue to have the types of conversations with our candidates and with provincial officials here to ensure that we're making life more affordable for Islanders. We're going to do that through a variety of ways, removing the carbon tax, lowering personal income taxes, taking the GST off of home energy bills. I understand that the toll is an impact on families here, and so we are hearing that feedback, and we will have more to say on affordability measures throughout the rest of this campaign. Merci beaucoup. Thanks very much, everyone.